La kalau mo ulo na katolang mo porta ko lang abi ko vida na tingin. Ni meron ng imbita na ko nung Ini kay guna taga nangun scrub. Puri tengah bongko bi kimi ka sa smile. Gabi ko ya. Bula mati.
Bula mati?
Yo, ko pa daran do kami Australia. GD mati.
Ko. Siya ni GD mati. It's good day, mate.
Okay, shit. Sa good. Rita, kayu ko ta Leonard po.
Siya nga singto na Leonard ba na rugby league?
Yo. Baka pa nang ulchi.
Yo, mati araw nang ulchi.
Ha?
Ata mo mati.
One thing players can always agree on is to have a nice cup of tea and a bucket load of FMF Breakfast Crackers. FMF Breakfast Crackers. Masa achi, achi da.
I'm looking forward to some family time. I'm cooking up a bit of surprise. Making memories that last a lifetime. Come on everybody, let's sing this song.
FMF friend Mula ni mataka negiti Moyang mula marau Lena beisinga Nabakandi nike wau ninga unango Pakandina nina takisai ikonga Seni churi ruang dua mea dhobanga Ebi
Sprinkle to your satisfaction. Kneaded with passion. Dusted to perfection. By FMF, a promise of quality. In association with Crest Eggs, Crest is best, Edmund's Baking Powder, and supported by Malia.
Hello Vanaka and welcome to My Perfect Bake right here on My TV. I'm your host Jacquee Speight. The recipes we showcase this season are for everyone, easy to follow and affordable to make. We're also giving 2 viewers a chance weekly to win fantastic hampers thanks to FMF Foods Limited, Malia Clothing and some of my favorite small businesses. A lot happening on My Perfect Bake, so stay close. Joining me in the kitchen tonight is university student and part-time baker Caitlin Hamnam. Hey Caitlin!
Hi Jacquee.
So good to have you here with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much for being here. How have you been?
Just like the weather, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit here and there.
Here and there.
Because the weather's been all over the place.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice and cool, sometimes it's hot. So it's just here and there.
Exactly.
So tell the viewers a little bit about your business.
Well, I started Cait Likes Cake originally in 2016 and it was just sort of a passion project of mine. So it's meant to be sort of like a food blog account. It was like back in 2016, so this is like the early Instagram days.
Right.
And it wasn't until 2017, 2018 that I really started getting into baking.
Yeah.
And I started posting up photos of my sister's lunch boxes.
Right.
So like cute lunch boxes that she would take to school, and she was like in Form 7 back then. So she would be super embarrassed of these lunch boxes that I used to make for her. But yeah, everyone loved it, and from there it sort of grew.
It's just grown.
Yeah.
You can find her on Instagram at Cait Likes Cake. Today we're making Caitlin's take on Portuguese egg tarts. I always have this when we're vacationing in the US with my mom. So Caitlin, what's the inspiration behind these Portuguese egg tarts? Why do you like making them?
These Portuguese egg tarts are actually inspired by my little sister. So, you know, growing up, coming from a very Asian family, our Sundays were always filled with Sunday yamchas. And my sister's absolute favorite thing on the menu were always the egg tarts.
Yes.
But those were Chinese egg tarts. So one day we were stumbling across a recipe for egg tarts because she really wanted to eat them. And then we accidentally stumbled across a Portuguese egg tart recipe instead.
Right.
So we tried it out, stuck with it.
Yeah.
Here we are.
That's amazing. And the thing is, You know, I've gone through a number of pages and I think you're the only one who's making Portuguese egg tarts. I haven't come across another baker who is doing it. So I'm so excited that you're actually here today to do this for us because it's very, very unique. And you know, it's interesting to note, you know, did you know that they were supposedly first made in the 13th century by monks in Lisbon. And legend says the monks had been based in France where they learnt of delectable pastries and that they needed to use up the oats separated from the egg whites. And here we are. This is how they came up with Portuguese egg tarts. Did you know that?
I had no idea. I'm actually going to go home and tell everyone that. I really honestly had no clue.
Well, we're all about learning, you know, we're all about learning something new. So I'm glad that you've learned something new from me as well, because I have no idea how to make these. So it's all a learning experience. Anyways, what ingredients are needed for this?
Okay, so for the Portuguese egg tarts, we have very pantry staples that everyone would have at home.
Right.
We've got flour, we've got milk, sugar, salt. And we've also got, because we want these egg tarts to be really flaky, really buttery,
yes.
So we've also got some butter and cream in the fridge.
Okay then, I'm going to step out and put on my apron. Now that I have my apron on, we're going to be making the dough, which is going to be used for the egg tart shells, right?
Yeah.
All right, Caitlin, take us through. What's next?
Okay, so it's pretty simple. All we've got to do is just put all of our ingredients into the mixing bowl. So we've got some flour. Let's put that in. Okay. We've got our salt.
Right.
Like a pinch of salt. Got our icing sugar.
Has to be icing sugar.
Has to be icing sugar.
Okay.
Got our milk and our softened unsalted butter. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so what we want to do is just mix that at a really low speed. We just want to incorporate the ingredients at first.
Okay.
Do that.
And how long are we mixing for?
About 6 minutes, or until you see the dough start to become really soft and shiny, and that's when you want to stop.
Okay. So Caitlin's finally finished with the dough. It's been mixing for 6 minutes, and now we have to let the dough rest for another 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay then, so that's going to rest outside or pop it into the fridge?
So you need to put it in the fridge for at least half an hour. But before doing that, you've just got to make sure that your dough is nice and smooth at the surface just
Right.
before putting it in the fridge. So we've done that, we've kneaded our dough. Now we're just popping it in the Glad wrap. Just cover it. And then that goes into the fridge
Seal it
for
up.
half an hour.
And now we're going to let the dough rest, and while it's resting, we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we're baking up some Portuguese egg tarts. Stay close.
Sprinkle to your satisfaction. Kneaded with passion. Dusted to perfection. By FMF, a promise of quality. In association with Crest Eggs, Crest is best, Edmund's baking powder, and supported by Malia.
La kolongo da ulo na katola mo porta kolonga bi ko vida na tingni ni berro ke mbita na bongo wai ini kay guna taka nangun scrub buri tengah bongo bi kimika sa smile gabi ko ya bula mati yo ko pa kam darando kami Australia jide mati
Ko, siya ni G-Day mati. It's good day, mate.
okay shit sa seduri reda kayu ko ka na lenot
Siya nga eh, singto na lainot ba na rugby league?
yo baka pa nangun chi
Iyo mati, araw na unchi.
ha
Ata mo mati.
One thing players can always agree on is to have a nice cup of tea and a bucket load of FMF breakfast crackers. FMF breakfast crackers. Masa achi, achi da.
I'm cooking up a bit of surprise, making memories that last a lifetime. Come on, everybody, let's sing this song. Ooh, Mindamara watamai, le nalalomai wasivi. Ooh, beira nalala, Mindakaila watamai, kaseringa and
Chow chicken noodles, yay! Chow chicken noodles when you hungry, yaar. Fire chow, chow chicken noodles, fire chow. Hungry, yaar. So delicious, so tasty, ay, ay, ay. Chow chicken noodles, hungry, hungry, yaar. Fire chow, very tasty, so delicious, yummy, yummy, hungry, yaar. Chow chicken noodles, hungry, yaar. Chow chicken noodles, hungry, hungry, yaar. Fire chow.
I'm looking forward to some family time. I'm cooking up a bit of surprise, making memories that last a lifetime. Come on, everybody, let's sing this song. Ooh, there's a feeling in the air. Yeah, everybody, let's share. Ooh, let's come together and celebrate. Have fun with family.
You'll need all your energy when you go back to play rugby. So I'm making you lots and lots of breakfast crackers. Don't tell the other players your secret to a great game or how good FMF breakfast crackers taste. I only want you to eat the best, Joelle.
Sprinkle to your satisfaction. Kneaded with passion. Dusted to perfection. By FMF, a promise of quality. In association with Crest Eggs, Crest is best, Edmund's baking powder, and supported by Malia.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we have Caitlin joining me in the kitchen to make her take on Portuguese egg tarts. Miss Caitlin, shall we begin?
Yeah. So over here we've got a butter sheet. So this is just 130 grams of unsalted butter.
Right.
And what we want to do is just roll this out into a 15 by 15 square sheet.
Wow.
So this is just in between parchment paper, so it's easier for us to just pop it onto the dough.
And that's just plain butter.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is our dough that we've been resting from earlier. And what we're going to do is we're just going to roll this out, put on the butter, and we'll go from there.
Okay then.
Okay, so we'll just put that aside for now. And we just want to dust our countertop with like a little bit of flour.
Get the kids in on this, they'll love this.
Okay. So, just gonna make. Okay.
I love your rolling pin.
Thank you.
Why a glass one?
I have no idea where I got this from actually.
Yeah?
It just showed up one day.
But why do you prefer it over this?
We'll be using that later.
Okay.
So now we just want to stretch out the dough.
Okay. Because now you're rolling out, eh? And this takes some time. So Caitlin, how did you decide on the name of your business, Cait Likes Cake? Because it's just like as if you decided, you know what? I'm just going to say it as it is. Like nothing fancy. You know, some people, they actually sit down and they go over names. They say it out loud, but yours is just Caitlin and then Cait Likes Cake.
That's definitely the case. My nickname in high school was Cait.
Right.
And for my friends that know me, I really, really, really love cake. So yeah, it just seemed like something that was fitting.
And it just stuck. And as you had mentioned earlier, it was meant to be just a food blog account.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you receive your first order. And how did you feel when people started, you know, placing the orders, or when you got that first request?
Yeah, no, I felt really excited. I was like, oh wow, you know, like this is happening. So
and it's just grown since.
Yeah, it just took off from there. And yeah, I'm really fortunate for the journey that I was able to experience while doing this.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. You know, like something that you start off as just a hobby. You start this page and you think, you know what, I'm just going to share some of my favorite foods, some of my favorite eats. And then the next thing you know, it's now turned into a fully fledged small little business from home. And here we are.
Yeah.
So what have you done? You've placed the butter in?
Okay, so I've put the butter in, and now we're just going to wrap it. Just want to dust a little more flour so the dough doesn't stick.
It's a very delicate process.
It is. So we just want to flatten it out a bit.
Right.
Okay, and now what we want to do is roll this till about double the length of the butter sheet that we just put in.
Okay.
So we just want something long. Okay.
So with this crust, is this only just for Portuguese egg tarts, or can it be used for any other pastry?
No, yeah, definitely. It's a multi-purpose tart.
Okay.
So you could use this crust for, you know, pies and
Right.
all those sorts of things. Yep. Okay. So now we're just going to roll this out.
Oh, it looks so lovely. It's so smooth. And no air bubbles, huh?
Yeah.
So tell me something, how do you brand your business? Are you across the board on Facebook, or are you just on one social media platform?
I'm just on Instagram for the time being because I'm a Gen Z. So that felt like something, yeah, I haven't dwelled that much into Facebook yet, but
Yep.
it's definitely something I'm looking into in the near future.
But do you feel that it's easier right now just to handle everything on Instagram instead of having
Yeah,
multiple
it
platforms?
definitely is.
Okay. So Caitlin, what's the next step now?
Okay, so now that we've rolled out our butter into the dough,
Yep.
we're just going to fold it. So what you want to do is just fold this to maybe about 3/4 of the way.
Okay.
Fold that in. And
Yes.
press down the edges, and then you're going to fold that again. So what you want is sort of this rectangle,
Right.
and then you've got that. Just shape it.
Are you going to roll that out again?
Yes, so right now we've got to put this in the fridge to rest for about 15 minutes, and then we'll repeat this another 2 times,
Okay
and
then.
then we'll be all good.
Awesome.
Okay, so into our parchment paper that goes. Just going to blanket it like a little baby.
And that's 15 minutes in the fridge to
15 minutes
rest.
in the fridge. Okay.
Very delicate process.
It is, but it's worth the wait.
And so Caitlin finally brought the dough out after the 15 minutes. This is the 3rd time that it's been rolled out, and this is also the final time before we go into the final process of actually rolling it into a cylinder, right? So one thing I've picked up is she's just dusting it. That's why you can see there's a lot of flour around. Note, we don't like to just throw flour at each other. We've actually been dusting our dough. So you're just taking a bit, popping it on, and then you're dusting it off. So whatever sticks, whatever you don't need is all around us right now.
Yeah, so basically we just don't want our dough sticking to the surface of the table.
Right.
We just want it nice and dry so we're able to roll it.
Okay then. And another thing, I have to ask this. Is there a certain measurement? Because you're rolling and then you're slicing and you're removing the edges, and now it's just like perfectly measured out.
Really, it depends on the size of your butter because it might vary depending on how you roll it. So it depends on the size of your butter, but basically we just want sort of a square.
Right.
And that's what we have, and then we're just going to roll it.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead.
Okay, so we just want to make a little roll.
There you go.
And there we go.
And so what do we do with
our
this now?
And now we just want to put this in a piece of Glad wrap and keep it in the fridge for about at least half an hour until you're ready to bake it.
Okay then. And now that Caitlin has rolled up the dough into a nice cylinder, she's going to glad wrap it and pop it back into the fridge. How long is it going into the fridge for?
It's got to be in the fridge for at least half an hour before you cut it.
Okay then.
Yeah.
And when we come back to cut it, it's finally time to put it into the tray.
Sprinkle to your satisfaction. Kneaded with passion. Dusted to perfection. By FMF, a promise of quality. In association with Crest Eggs, Crest is best, Edmund's baking powder, and supported by Malia.
Kalau ko ulo na katawa mo porta ko lang abi ko vida na tingin ni meron ng imbita na ko wait. Dili kay guna taga nangun scrub. Buri tengah bongko bi kimi ka sa smile. Gabi ko ya. Bula mati.
Bula mati?
Yo, kung magandang doon kami Australia, GD mati.
Ko, siya ni GD mati. It's good day, mate.
Okay, shit. Sa dulu. Rita, kayu gula ka pa na Leonard po.
Siya nga Singto na Leonard, ba na rugby league?
Yo, maka pa nangunchi.
Iyo, mati. Araw nangunchi.
Ha?
Ata mo, mati.
One thing players can always agree on is to have a nice cup of tea and a bucket load of FMF Breakfast Crackers. FMF Breakfast Crackers. Masa achi, achi da.
I'm looking forward to some family time. I'm cooking up a bit of surprise, making memories that last a lifetime. Come on, everybody, let's sing this song. Ooh, there's a feeling in the air. Yeah, everybody, let's share. Ooh, let's come together and celebrate. Have fun with family.
FMF friend Bula ni mataka negiti Moyango mula marau Lena beisinga Nawakandi nike wau ni ngau nango Pakandina nina takisai hikonga Seni churi ruang dua mea dhobanga Ebi
Sprinkle to your satisfaction. Kneaded with passion. Dusted to perfection. By FMF, a promise of quality. In association with Crest Eggs, Crest is best, Edmund's baking powder, and supported by Malia.
Welcome back. We're in the kitchen this evening with Caitlin from Cait Likes Cake, and you can find her on Instagram, again, Cait Likes Cake. And she's been showing us the steps to making her, one of the favorites off her list, Portuguese Egg Tarts. And now that we've finished with rolling up the dough and it's currently sitting inside the fridge, we're gonna get started on the filling. Cait, take us through. What's next?
Okay, so we've just got some cream. This is just your standard whipping cream. So we're just gonna put that into our mixing bowl. Okay.
Right.
Then we're gonna add our sugar. This is white sugar.
Right.
We're gonna add our milk. And our eggs. All right, so would you just be able to mix that for me? And I'll just bring the pastry out of the fridge.
Sure thing. I'll move this to the side. There you go. Just whisk this up.
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to keep on whisking until you don't feel any more sugar granules within the mixture.
Okay.
So occasionally you might have to dip your finger in the mixture, but that's the only way you can tell, really.
My daughter would love this. Anything to do with taste testing, she's there. And then you're just going to slice that up and get that ready for the shells?
Yep. So what I want to do is just really cut this into maybe an inch thickness.
Okay.
So that's about this tall, yeah, this wide.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So all our sugar granules are dissolved, so now we're ready to just put our tarts in the oven.
I'm excited. Okay, what's next?
So we've got our little pie tins over here.
Right.
So what you're going to do is just get one piece of dough.
Yeah.
You just want to dip a little bit in flour, and then you're going to put the flour side up into the tin. That's because as we're pressing it, we don't want our fingers to stick to the dough.
Right.
Yeah, but we want the bottom to stick to the tin.
I get you.
Yeah. So we're just going to start by pushing this out.
So I'm just putting it in there like
Yep.
that.
And then you just want to dust the excess flour off it.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
Then you're
that.
good to put the flour side up into the tin.
And
Yep.
then we're just
And just
pressing
using
it.
your fingers, you just want to sort of spread it towards all corners of the tin. So you get like this circular dimension over here.
Oh, that is a nice soft dough.
Yep.
It's really soft.
And then basically just keep on working your way until you've covered the entire pan.
Ah, so simple. I thought we were going to roll it out and then put it in. I don't know. I just had this long process in my head.
Yeah.
I didn't think
Okay.
that we would just need to put it in, then press it around.
Yep, so that's one. And we just do the same for the rest.
Too good, man. Again, it's something how the flour is just really light. Everything is just dusted.
Yeah, because we want those layers to stick together,
Yes.
but we don't want the flour to really dry all the work that we put into
Yes,
it.
yes. I learn something new every day. Oh, I love this. This is actually therapeutic, guys.
It is.
Just
It's really
pressing it down.
squishy.
Yeah, I actually like the feeling. It's like Play-Doh.
And we also don't want the bottom too thin so that the dough doesn't tear at the bottom.
Yes,
You want
yes.
it just until it's covered.
And now we've got our dough into the shells. Caitlin, what's the next important step? You said something about it resting and why it's important that we need to rest it. Why is that?
Yep, so these pastries have been resting for about half an hour to an hour. And you don't need to keep them in the fridge, you can just leave them out in room temperature. But we want them to have a good time to rest, because if they don't rest enough, as you're baking, the shell will shrink into the tin. So we don't want that, we want it to stay in place. So we need it to rest the right amount of time.
Right.
So over here we've got some custard. This is the custard filling we were making earlier. And we just want to pour this not full, but not 3/4, somewhere in between.
Okay,
so
then.
a little more than 3/4, but less than the tip. Yeah. About that much will do. And we don't want to fill it too full, otherwise it's just going to overflow.
Right. And there we have it. We have finally poured the filling into our tart shells.
Yep.
What's the next step? How long are we putting it into the oven for?
We want to put this in at 220 degrees Celsius for about 20 to 25 minutes. So at the 20-minute mark, you just want to check your egg tarts, see the color on them. If they're not brown enough, then you let them go a bit longer.
Okay then, I'm excited. Stay with us, because when we get back, I'm gonna have some egg tarts. 20 minutes finally up, and now the tarts are out. We can finally get to taste it. Caitlin, you excited?
I am.
I hope you are, because, man, I tell you, I just can't wait. And on top of that, it's smelling so good in here. Like, I wish you could be in this kitchen because it really, really is smelling good. All right, let's go for it. You know what? I'm not even going to use the plate.
So the way I would do it, or the way my sister likes to do it, is that she always likes to like sort of hear the crust.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And she likes to break it apart.
Look at that. So good. Cheers. Wow. So good. These tarts are so good. These small goodies, absolutely perfect. It's creamy on the inside. It's the right amount of sweetness. Like the custard is just the perfect combination of all the ingredients. And the pastry, buttery,
Makes
flaky.
the rolling all worth it.
Yes. Now I get why the rolling over 3 times, putting it in the fridge, leaving it to rest, while it may seem like such a process, if you could just taste this pastry, it's absolutely, just mouth-watering. I absolutely love it. Caitlin, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show, honestly. And thank you for joining us for our 5th episode on the My Perfect Bake Show. I look forward to your company in our future episodes. And for a copy of this recipe, be sure to check out the comment box of this episode on the MyTV Facebook and YouTube pages. Now, to contact Caitlin for this and other delicious desserts, find her on Instagram at Cait Likes Cake. As mentioned, we're giving 2 viewers the chance to win a hamper each thanks to FMF Foods Limited, Malia Clothing, and some of my favorite small businesses. So be sure to head over to the FMF Foods Limited Instagram page for all the details. We've thoroughly enjoyed your company. I'll see you again soon. Stay sweet.
You're a star, yes you are. Keep pushing through. FMF is there for you. We can make it true. Lead the way, create a path, follow through and just have a blast. You're a star, yes you are. Keep pushing through. FMF, a promise of quality.
Sprinkle to your satisfaction. Kneaded with passion. Dusted to perfection. By FMF, a promise of quality. In association with Crest Eggs, Crest is best, Edmund's Baking Powder, and supported by Malia.